Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. Got a subject that I want to talk about today. This may be a longer than usual video, but if you are a so-called Black person, African American Black person living in Babylon, you need to listen to this. One, because it is a word coming from a brother, and y'all know I'm a Black man affirming sister on this channel. Also, because this channel is called the Alpha Builder, and he has talked about a whole lot of things that I have been reading. I have been interested in because I always tend to keep up with the trends of what's going on, where the government is going. And I understand usually the government is anywhere from 2 to 5 years ahead of states, which means people at the local level often don't get to know what's happening or where trends are going, or what plans the government has until it's too late, until it actually knocks on your door. And I don't like surprises, so I'm very aware all the time of what they're doing. When and if I can be aware, there are, of course, some things that you don't know about, that you uh, learn about last minute. But with these trends, especially in building, I felt like this was a very timely discussion, because a lot of our people are getting ready to lose their jobs. And a lot of our people have been taught you need to go to college, you need to get a degree, you need to get several degrees, you need to know stuff, and sit around and talk googly gawk taught to us by our open enemies. And what they've done is they've gotten a lot of us into student loan debt that we'll never be able to pay off, because we don't have career fields that will allow us to repay this debt. So you'll be a constant debt slave. And that's kind of, what this society, this capitalist society is all about. It's basically about making a fool out of folks. And um, as the trends change and we go from a society that cared about, or was big on 4-year education, master's degrees, PhDs, we're getting ready to go back to a time, and this has been happening since say before 2020. We get ready to go back to a time where manual labor is going to be the business. If you don't know how to use your hands, if you don't know how to use tools, if you don't know how to build stuff and make stuff, and you are afraid of manual labor, you're going to starve to death. This society is getting ready to go back, where we're headed to a place where, I've been talking about affordable housing, mixed housing, smart cities, 15-minute cities, 20-minute cities. All those things are getting ready to happen. Once this economy collapses, these wars happen. We don't have any money. Our treasuries are being delivered back to us by the boatloads. Inflation is getting ready to kick our butts. We're not going to have money to consume. We are a consumer-driven society. Migration has taken over all of the European nations and the world in general. Everybody's running looking for something, and people are running here. Uh, and the borders are open. It's intentional. But this guy, Alpha Builder, has been talking about, how Black people do business. Black people don't do business right. African Americans, we'll look the part, but we don't have our ducks in order. And it's hurting us. And he's going to he's in 2 different videos. He talks, one about our attitude and the way that we do business, how nobody wants to do business with us, we don't even want to do business with each other. And 2, how we've allowed other groups to come in and get the monopoly on business. It doesn't matter, he's talking about building, but it's the same way in uh, in the trucking industry, in the fast food industry, in management, whatever, wherever, restaurant service. If you allow other groups to come in and get in management, it's a wrap. They hire their own people that boot us out, and we're left in the cold. And he's talking about what he's observing in the contractor business, the black building builder business, and he's from Alabama, but he's talking good stuff. So I want y'all to listen to him, and I'll chime in when he hits some points that I wanted to hit on. Blow this up, make it bigger.
There's a lot to unpack on this one right here, guys. Let's get into it. All right, guys, here we go again. This is Emmett Stallworth, the Alpha Builder. Guys, I was in Fairfield, Alabama, which is Fairfield is a small town right outside of Birmingham. It's in the greater Birmingham area. And I would say that Fairfield is probably 90, maybe 95% African American. And I could look this up, demographics of Fairfield, Alabama. Let me just see what we pull up. Oh, guys, it's 92.5% black, 5.24% white, 1.94% other two races, and that's Asian and Hispanics. This is a Home Depot that's in Fairfield, Alabama. And as you see, when you inside of that Home Depot, you see nothing. Guys, you see Hispanics getting all the products. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But you also see black people there, but they actually work for Home Depot. So the black people are going to be the guys in the vest. So if you go, those are Hispanic, they actually work for somewhere else. But like if you go right here to this brother right here, that's right there, he actually works for Home Depot. And at the beginning, I think right here at the beginning, guys, you had, let me see if I can find it right quick. Like you had another person that was actually, that, by the way, that guy right there is my son, the one on the right there. That's my son. And you have, but look guys, overwhelmingly Hispanic. And these guys are purchasing, you have a black lady right here.
Now, I've been telling y'all that they've been taking over and replacing us. We have been replaced. Ain't no it's about to happen, it's coming. It's here. We've been replaced. And this has been a constant problem or constant replacement since DACA. I want to say since the Obama administration. And I don't know if y'all remember when Obama came into office and he started making a pitch for everybody but black people. He pointed his fingers at black men, telling y'all were not good parents, y'all were absent, y'all were this, y'all were that, y'all need help, you brothers keeper, getting y'all nonprofits. But they were making pathways and providing resources for everybody but the Negro. Okay, and so now that, say 15-year, 10, almost 15-year support, that leg up, them bootstraps and boots that everybody got has gotten them here. And so you see black men and black women serving the next buffer class. You're going to be at the bottom if you don't position yourselves to uh, take hold of some of the things that are getting ready to come. And a lot of people are really not paying attention, especially the young people. People are sending their kids to school to take stuff that they're not going to even be able to get a job in. And then they're getting student loans. So they're never going to be able to pay off the debt. And no matter how much I tell people, you don't need to be going to school to get a 4-year degree. You need to go to community college. Get this, because this is where the trends are. They don't want to hear that. That's an insult to them. And so I just have learned how to shut my mouth and just let Black people do whatever they're going to do. Because I already know we are hard headed, stiff necked people, and we ain't finna listen to nobody. And the government can put the trends out all day long and tell you, we getting ready to take away the jobs. We're getting ready to pull the rug from under you. We've been chipping away at your livelihoods for the last 30, 40, 50 years, but y'all won't listen. And so here we are at this point where you can visually see. It doesn't matter if you go to a Home Depot, you can go to a restaurant, sit down and eat. You see people you've never seen before having dinner with their whole families because they used to not be able to afford to do so. And they were in the shadows. Nobody's in the shadows now. Everybody is out in the open with their places. And Black people seem like to be the only people who don't understand. You're going to be devastated the most because you're already at the bottom of the totem pole. Every other ethnic group that comes over here leapfrogs over us. And we sitting around acting like, we got it going on and we got it popping. Like we look crazy.
Just checking them out. Now, let's just kind of get into this thing right here, guys. The the people that was working there. So now the workers that were working there, it was probably half and half as well. You had half Hispanic females that were working at that Home Depot, and then you had half Black, but the Blacks was a mixture between Black men and Black women. I didn't see any Hispanic males working for Home Depot. I seen them coming in droves, gathering product to go do a job. And what you got to understand is the way it's set up now. You can actually go in as a contractor. Say, for instance, I could have those guys to pick up the job to go to my site. Okay, and so I can pay for it via phone, but they can pick it up for me, which is a good little service that is the Home Depot Pro Desk or whatever they have. But that works really, really good. But now, guys, you got to understand that we're in Fairfield, Alabama. Now, there are Home Depots all throughout. You got Hoover, Vestavia. You got all these little areas that's on, this kind of greater Birmingham area. But these guys were in the Home Depot in Fairfield, which I would argue that in that particular case, at this area right here, that most of those guys right there were doing work for African Americans. Because if they were doing work, because you got to understand, Fairfield, if they were doing work in Hoover, on one of the outskirts of Birmingham, it would be better for them to pick the stuff up in the Hoover area. These guys are picking this stuff up in Fairfield, which means that they're going to pick it up close to where they're going to do the work at. It just makes more sense for them not to be hauling it all over like Hoover, Trustfield, and all the other areas. Fairfield is predominantly Black area, which I would argue that these guys are doing work for someone in Fairfield, which is probably more than likely Black people. And this is the point that I'm trying to make, guys. The point that I'm trying to make, even we don't even want to use us. This is where we're at now, guys. We don't want to use us because now mind you,
And I can attest to this because I have a friend, Watchman Nehemiah, who works in the building industry. I'll say that. And if he has a preference to work with anybody, he tends to lean towards not working with us because we show up late. And I'm just telling you some things that he shared with me. And I can attest to this because I have had these experiences as well. And so as professional business people who work with money, who we understand the value of time and money. And we have deadlines. We have things that we need to do, and we need to get stuff done in a timely manner, and we need to get it done in a certain way. And oftentimes our people don't be on the same page. We have to go outside of our own groups to work and be successful and work with integrity and be business focused like everybody else in the world, because Black people just seem like we just on this whole other other time. Like we don't get how the world works. We just think we're gonna do something and everybody's gonna put up with our nonsense. They're gonna wait on us to show up for work late. They're going to um you know put up with us not giving appropriate quotes. And I mean, people just not putting up with us. Nobody wants to work with us. We don't even want to work with us. And it is a shame. So I'm glad another brother is saying it. I've said it. A lot of us have said this behind, under our breath behind closed doors. But it's the truth. We don't want to work with each other because we have terrible business acumen all around. We have poor soft skills. We have poor business skills, and some of it is by design. But a lot of this that is going on within our community, it is us. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to be better. We like being half-assed. We like being um, terrible. I'm gonna just say terrible.
Let's understand this right here. I got a little list of things I need to go through. There's a lot to unpack here. But mind you, so when you when you're dealing with African Americans, right? Now, at one time, I can say this right here. At one time, guys, maybe about 15 to 20 years ago, when I first kind of got into this game, you could get work from Hispanic. It was just much cheaper back then than you could from anybody else, white men or black men. If you went to the Hispanics, I mean, you probably got the labor costs, and they did good work. But you could get it for cheaper back then. Today, guys, things have changed. Now, back then, see, here's what happened. Back then, the Hispanic labor was cheaper. Right? For whatever reason, some of those guys coming here, they didn't have the debt that we had, so they were cheaper, and they come out, they get the job done, they get on out the way. Then once all the white men and the black men, as far as competing with them when it comes to labor, we couldn't do it. That was back then, back about 15, 20 years ago. We couldn't compete. So a lot of the black men and white men, you know what we did? We took jobs. We took a job working at a company, getting paid by the hour. And we just let them have it. So now, fast forward to today, all the Hispanic labor, now they bump their cost up because it's kind of like J.P. Morgan and John D. Rockefeller back when they did the steel. They lowered their costs until they drove all the other steel companies. The other steel companies couldn't compete, so they went out of business. And when they went out of business, they bumped their costs back up. Well, this is the same thing happened with Hispanic labor. So yes, the costs went down. Back then, it was really, really low. Now that all the black men and all the white guys are out of the business, we took jobs. Once we took jobs, they, as a collective, they increased their costs. Now, one thing I can say about the Hispanic guys is that they do actually get together and they collaborate and they make sure that they're consistent across the board on cost.
And I can attest to that, living in South Florida for 10 years, they have a lock on South Florida. They almost got Florida locked, period, where between the Ish people and um, the Latino gang, they work together. They work together against us. And we have been so indoctrinated with white Western ways of being independent, not, being, and we still have that slavery mentality. We like to be debt slaves. We don't believe in self employment. We believe in going to work for somebody else. And even if you work for somebody else, always have your side hustle so that if something happens, you have a means to take care of yourself. I taught my sons that. My dad taught me that. Now, unfortunately, my dad was a mechanic, and none of us took up his skill. Like he taught it to my brothers, but they wanted to go do their own thing, their own way. And so now we don't have a family legacy or a business where, you know, um, cars are going to still be repaired because, people in our family thought that was not good, or, they looked at it from the monetary perspective and they didn't look at it from a family legacy or a independent proprietor um, type of legacy. And a lot of black people do that. So now we are in trouble and brothers are sounding the alarm. So I'm going to share a scripture with you, and it is Ezekiel 33:6. And I'm reading from the NIV version. So, and this is what I do. This is what I believe. This is why I do this. 6. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet to warn the people, and the sword comes and takes someone's life, that person's life will be taken because of their sin of not listening, unwilling to get wisdom and truth and understanding for themselves, believing and loving their enemy and not coming out of the system and being disobedient. Because at the end of the day, all of it, the root of all of it is disobedience and ignorance. But I will hold the watchmen accountable for their blood. And so this brother is a watchman. He is trying to tell brothers, you better get your stuff together because sword is coming. And the sword is already here, but our people are not listening. I have read over the last year all sorts of programs that are put in place for Latino gang to get boots, bootstraps, socks, drawers, t-shirts, belts, rations, MREs, hairbrush, hair comb, uh, pomade, whatever they put on the hair, soap, tissue, a house, family, whatever they need, anything they need to be above us, they got it. They're getting it. It's written into law. They're getting it. Black people don't got nothing but what we know in the Most High, and that's all we need. But we also need to be playing chess in this the during this transition. And if you're not positioning yourself, because we don't know how long we're gonna be here, we don't know nothing. So everything we do, we gotta be proactive. Of course, we gotta be led by the Holy Spirit. But as long as we're in captivity, we gotta try to figure out how we are going to sustain ourselves. And a lot of people have skills, but they don't have the business acumen. The business is set up to be able to benefit from what is coming, and they're not going to be able to take care of their families. When you talk about the sword and folks' lives, people depend on men for a whole lot of stuff. These women who relying on men for child support. Well, what they gonna do when the child support not coming because the brother got laid off from his good 9 to 5 job, where he goes to work in his shirt and tie or his uniform or whatever? He's not gonna be able to take care of his family. His mama might be relying on him. His wife or baby mama might be relying on him. His children definitely gonna be relying on him. How, this is gonna be a ripple effect for brothers. So this man is trying to talk to our people, And even if you're not in this field, now may be the time for you to go and get a skill or a certification, a quick certification, because what you're doing now, if you're working in a job where AI can take over or where businesses can downsize and you're going to be impacted, you're going to need support. You're going to need a new career. And people like this, you could possibly go to them and learn how to do some stuff and get some skills and get a paycheck and not starve to death. But if you're not positioning yourself right now while the watchmen are blowing the trumpet, then you are going to be devastated. That blood that is going to be spilled could possibly be your family's blood, your neighbor's blood. There's a lot of brothers out here that's going to be useless when the bottom falls out because they don't know how to do nothing. And the worst kind of man, unfortunately, that you're going to be that you will have around you are the ones that got knowledge but don't know how to do nothing with their hands. That's not what the Most High created us to do. He created us to have wisdom, of course, but He also created all of us, including the women, to be laborers. We're supposed to be workers. We're supposed to have businesses. We, you know, are westernized and all messed up. And you're getting ready to see a whole bunch of us perish, unfortunately, because of it. So let me play this other video um, from the Alpha Builder because it was also another subject that was very relevant to our community, especially during this awakening. So,
To do better. We just got to. Let's get into it. All right, guys, this is me again. This is Emmett Stallworth, the Alpha Builder. And I got this right here on my board to talk about today. And it's, guys, let me just say this right here before I get started. It's not a week to go by that something happens that produced the content for me to sit here and talk to you guys about. Either is another contractor I talk to, like I got a couple of buddies of mine, African American, white, it doesn't matter. They reach out to me and we discuss these matters, good, bad, and different. I think these matters need to be talked about. Now, this right here on my board was, I just wrote it down. This black contractors don't have the business in order. And I've done probably 3 or 4 videos on this, and it keeps coming back to the same thing. And let me just say this right before I get started, man. I know I got a lot to unpack here. We live in a society now where if you call black people to task, if you say you're not doing this, or you did this wrong, or you messed up, or this is why you messed up, we can't take it. I know this because guys, I like to go out and sit down, and I like to have intellectual discussions with a couple of my buddies, on the weekend. We may go out and we may have a beer or something. They smoke cigars. I can't do the cigar thing. It just don't agree with me and my stomach. Maybe I did it wrong the first time, but we'll sit down and this is where, we try to go to male spaces, which those are gone now. But we try to sit down and we try to have intellectual discussions about the plight of Black America and just Black people in general. And it's at the point to where my friends are going to look at me. They typically look at me, oh man, you're a sellout, or you a Trump lover, or you don't like yourself, or you Uncle Ruckus, or you what else the other one, Uncle Tom, or whatever they want to call me. And the funny thing about it, if you actually read the book, It was actually Uncle Tom was the one that was trying to help the black folks. It was Sambo who was the problem. But that's a subject for another debate, guys. But when I'm going heavy in the paint on black people, see, I don't just give you I don't give you a security blanket. I don't hold back, but just because you're black. Matter of fact, if you're doing wrong, if you're not operating according to normal protocols, I'm gonna call that behavior out. I don't give a doggone what color you are, black, white, blue, green, Hispanic. It doesn't matter to me. When I look at business, guys, I don't look at race. And I've noticed that black people are becoming sensitive. You can't tell them what they're doing wrong. Or you can't call them out. And a lot of black men are at the point now where they are emotional. They're more emotional than the women today. You can't say anything. You can't say, "Hey man, you messing up, or you doing this right here wrong." Oh man, you picking at him, or you just don't like.
Yes, I can attest to this. I can attest to this. Y'all know how direct I am on my videos. I'm like this in real life. So I love my people and I want us to be well. So I'm constantly, advising and sharing information and trying to help people be better. And people don't want you to talk to them. People um, only care about feeling good. And I had a conversation with my best friend, and she said something to me that I'll never forget, but it also made me um, not ever tell her anything to help her because I realized that she's not able to receive anything. And so, I'm constantly evaluating, self evaluating, asking people for their thoughts about me. Genuinely tell me about this because I want to be better. That's the type of person I am. And even if it hurts, I still want to know because I want to be better. So I was sharing with my friend some information, and she basically told me that nobody can't tell her anything about herself. If she doesn't believe it, then it's not so. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, okay, so this would explain why your relationships don't ever last. It explains why you um, can't keep anyone in your life. It explains a lot. It is explained a lot. And so I think a lot of our people have that mentality where if they don't believe it about themselves, they don't give a crap about what anyone else says. Even if someone is telling them the truth and them failing to believe it is to their detriment. This is one of those situations. And so, when you talk about business, for me, this is really important because we don't have any shelters or refuges or communities that we run or control hardly anymore. And we've intertwined ourselves in such a way to the dominant society or to our open enemy that it is going to be catastrophic when they pull the rug from under us. And so, as the head or the leaders of our community, black men, this brother is, trying to teach us or tell us, hey, we need to be better. He's not, this is his lane. He is not saying anything that the Most High wouldn't say to us. He wants us to move excellently. He believes in excellence, in order. And we do everything we can to disregard order, to be disobedient, to demonstrate we hate our brothers and sisters. We don't want anyone to correct us. We hate admonishment, and we're supposed to admonish one another daily. Um, and it's not judging. It's just your business is not in order. Get it in order. You know your business is not in order, but you choose to do business raggedy anyway. And even, we don't want to work with us, but we still don't see that as a problem. As this economy collapses, those who got their business in order will flourish. Those who do not are going to perish because there's not going to be a way for you. People not going to want to work with you. You don't have your papers in order. Nobody gonna want to work with you. Even before the transition, even before all this digital stuff comes about, just plain old local stuff. Nobody gonna want to work with you. You know, these insurance companies, they're getting ready to change standards and require all this accountability. If you don't want to take accountability, you don't want to be held accountable by your brothers and sisters, you're not going to want to be held accountable by nobody. You should want to be held accountable by your brothers and sisters. And, it shouldn't take Mr. Charlie to tell you to get your business in order. But oftentimes, that's what happens. But by the time you decide to do it, it's going to be too late. So, while this is talking about building and contractors, it has a very real life practical um, a practical type of a message. We need to get ourselves in order. Our brothers need to get ourselves in order. Themselves in order. And for women, a lot of times we're not as supportive as we could be to our brothers. We make life more difficult for them instead of making life easier for them, and that is a shame.
Like, come on, you racist against your own kind. I get that a lot, guys, because I don't care anything about that stuff. The only thing I care about, now I do care about trying to make sure that I don't want my people to wake up and be extinct. So yes, I love my people, but I'm not going to give you a.
See, we all say that we love our people. We love our people, but we don't want you to be extinct. And so that's the whole reason for my channel. And I'm very happy that I stumbled across this brother's channel because he says the same thing, that black people are not willing to receive admonishment so that they could be better. And the brothers are more sensitive than the women now. I can attest to this because just even trying to date over the last 2 years, I'm just like amazed at how men have changed. The men my age are so sensitive and superficial and emotional, don't know how to communicate. I'm just like, what in the heck is going on? Not resilient, can't move on. And if you're like that in your personal relationships, you're also like that in your business relationships. You're going to make poor decisions because you're emotional and you're not using logic. Our brothers are changed. They are more effeminate than I've ever seen in my life. And it is very scary.
Pass just because you're black. And guys, we're out here, especially in contracting, guys, subcontractors and general contractors, black men. And it's mainly the black men that I'm dealing with that I have the issues with. They don't have their business in order. Their business is all out of, the general liability insurance, LLC, have yourself under umbrella. Don't be out here operating as a sole proprietor and have your name on the bank account and all that kind of stuff. We don't have those things. We can't even get invoices in. No invoices, no general liability insurance. We can't even give out quotes. We don't even give quotes. What we want to do is just show up on the job and do the job and send you an invoice, and the invoice is way higher. Now, I can't, if you let these jokers come on your site and you don't already have that cost figured out or a way to figure their cost out, then you messed up. That's on you. That's not on him. Yeah, this is what they're gonna do. It's just like that garden analogy that I was using when I was saying that, you gotta protect your business. And if you let jokers come in your business and do business with you, and they don't give you full discretion as to what they're going to charge and what's going on with them, don't even let them come on your job site at all. Now, I put that on you. But the reason that we don't get the jobs is because we don't have our business in order. And then we'll come back and we'll complain. Well, the man, when they wouldn't give me your job because they don't like me because I'm black. Guys, I see it every day. They just don't like me.
And I can attest to this as well. Even in, I work with money, lots of money. I don't handle the money, but I help people get money, whether it's, through grants or small business loans. I develop proposals for people and I tell stories, but I also have to check to verify people are in order. And they are not often in order, so I'm not able to help them. But it doesn't stop people from coming and then complaining about, oh, we can't get ABCD. You can't get ABCD because you don't do business right. And no matter how much you tell them, they refuse to get their business in order. So it's very difficult to help our people.
Like me. No, you ain't got your stuff in order. You don't have an N number. You didn't pay your taxes. You didn't file your taxes. You don't have your general liability insurance. You don't have your workman's comp if it's needed. You don't have your bond information available. You don't have people that you can go to and get bond limits. You don't have your articles of incorporation filed. You don't have your home builder's license. You don't have your general contractor's license. And you out here trying to pull permits. You out here operating, if you're a subcontractor, especially in the MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, you out here trying to operate under the master. You out here and you operate, you got your journeyman. You went and took the test. You probably sat for the journeyman test and passed it. You was an apprentice and you got your journeyman, but you can't go pull permits without a master's license. But you're doing it, so you're gonna do it under your homeboy. So your homeboy is gonna hook you up. He's gonna hook you up. He's a master. He's gonna let you. And guys, if you're a master, don't let them guys come in and do that for you. Don't let them do it. Masters, if you're involved on a job, don't let some journeyman come pull a job site that you're not intimately involved in that job. Don't let them do your business like that, because those guys would take you out of business.
I move to mindset.
But for some reason, the mindset of the typical African American man, he does not want to put in that time. He want it now. He want his money right now. This is why you got so many of us. We sitting out here. We out here. We want to be rappers, or athletes, or entertainers, because that's quick money. You can if you're athletically inclined, you can dunk a basketball. You 6'8" and can jump from the free throw line and slam a basketball. Then you might be making a couple $1 million immediately after you get out of high school. Now you got the NIL and all that kind of stuff. That kind of amplifies things. This is what's happening to our youth, man. And not only that, it seems that our mates, I don't think they value the trades because it's not quick money. This is why we're not getting our business in order, man, because we want it too quick. We want everything quick. We don't want to go through the growing pains. Now, mind you, our families have been busted up. You look at the 60s and the 70s, and baby, you can sit here and you can argue all you want to, but until we get our family unit, our nuclear family structure together and in order, it's going to keep going downhill, guys. It's going to keep going downhill. Because when our families got busted up, now you don't have the dads in the household take the sons out here and say, hey, son, look, you probably ain't going to be no basketball player, right? This probably ain't going to happen for you, but this is what your dad do. I got a trade. I got a gift. I got something that I do. I can teach you this right here, man. You can make money doing it. See, we don't have that anymore. because the dads are not there anymore for whatever reason. Now, a lot of people make you, they'll make you think that the reason that the families got busted up is because the men went to the grocery store to get a pack of cigarettes and never came back. Went to get a pack of Newport, and he just didn't show back up again. Nah, you guys need to look this stuff up. The Monahan report. And I'm not saying that was not the case. That probably was some isolated incidences where that happened. But in most cases, for the most part, there were government incentives to keep the men from being in the household back in the 60s and the 70s. They came door to door. Once they got the families busted up, yeah, so men are not, you don't have that. I get it. But this is a new day. And even still, guys, here's the thing. Even still, you can't put this thing on black, and you can't say, well, they just don't give black men a chance. Now, racism exists. I get it. But that's not our biggest problem. And you just can't put it on that. Because how do you explain these two things that you got to explain to me? If everybody's picking at black men and keeping black men from getting their doggone business in order, if this is the case, then explain this right here. Explain how A.G. Gaston here in Birmingham, Alabama, how A.G. Gaston started a bank back during Jim Crow laws. He started a whole bank. And there were racist laws on the book. Despite the racism, he was able to start a bank. We can't even do it today. And even the banks that we do have, they're not gonna let, chances are, if you're African American, they probably ain't gonna make no loan out to you.
That's very true. And if you look at like the credit unions and the things that credit unions have today, the financial institutions, a lot of federal money has basically flowed to these institutions to help the buffer classes. So if you are not black but not white, there are resources for you. Even if you are illegal, even if you don't have a social security number, even if you ain't never filed taxes, these people are the dominant society is giving them money because they know they will come in and do what the dominant society wants, set up the institutions and structures needed to do business and do the business, even if it ain't but one person that's legitimate and legal and everybody else is undocumented. That one person who is legitimate and legal will do all the bidding so that the rest of everybody else can benefit. We don't do that. We want our own stuff. We don't want to share. We don't want to share information. We don't want to help each other. You know something I don't want you to know because you're going to steal from me. And I'm not saying that's not the case because it has happened. It has happened to me. You steal an idea. You steal you share some information with somebody, and you take the whole program and get credit for it and get money for it, and then never reach back and help the person that you stole from. Like, we just do all types of foul stuff, and everybody knows that about us. Like, they've taught us the Willie Lynch letter got to be true, because what is in it we do to each other for real, and we're living that today. And I just felt like this was a very important subject. Both of the subjects were really important as we transition, because we're here in the belly of the beast and we are at the mercy of these people, and we have been codependent on them for a very long time. What this gentleman is talking about are structures that allow us to do business on our own, to be self-employed, to employ our people. And like he's showing, we don't even want to work with us. We don't even want to work with each other because we have such bad attitudes, because we don't believe in excellence and order, because we don't trust each other, because when you try to talk about doing something the right way, everybody calls you Uncle Tom or Uncle Ruckus, or you a nerd, or whatever they say about you. I am I'm tired, but I continue, and I was happy to see a brother talking about just some practical things. A lot of black people, a lot of black men have been talking about this type of thing for quite some time, like the Black Authority. He's a truck driver, and he's been helping brothers try to get their stuff together and get into other fields like real estate and so on and so forth all across the country. But he's run into the same issue. So he talks about, he's been teaching in a different way, but teaching how the dominant society has basically screwed us over and made it so that we will have no wealth in 2 to 3 years. We won't have anything. And brothers like him, the Black Authority and the Alpha Builder, um, they all they get it, they see, and they're all around the same age. So it's a wonderful thing to see brothers talking about this, but it's sad because so few brothers get it. We like to cheerlead and it's like, yeah, I listen, yeah, I'm there. I heard what he said, but you don't do anything to position yourself to do what they're talking about. And the day is coming where they're getting ready to pull the rug from under men. And these brothers not gonna be able to take care of their families. They're not gonna be able to take care of themselves. They're not gonna be able to take care of their children. They're going to be in a position where they're going to have to go and ask for help. And when you go ask them for help, it's not going to be the help that they think they're going to get. So, I wanted to talk about this topic just a little bit. Um, I'm going to provide the Alpha Builders links in the description so that you can go and follow his channel. He has a lot of good content on there. I like what he talks about. He's like me, he doesn't have a whole lot of followers, but he's done a lot of videos, and they're not long, but it's stuff that Black people need to really pay attention to, because we're gonna have to get back to the basics. All this stuff, these pie in the sky dreams they have sold us, so that we'll be debt slaves and consumers. That stuff is coming to an end. It's not going to work for us now. We're going to have to go back to taking care of each other, working with each other to build up our own little enclaves until we are delivered from this place. So, um, get that in your spirit. I'm not the only one beating the drums. There are a lot of watchmen out here talking about a lot of different things, and our people ain't doing nothing. And I like this message because it's by a Black man. It's for, African American Black men. It's for anybody, but specifically for our people, because our people are at such a disadvantage, and we are at a critical point where we are about to lose a lot of our people. But our brothers, if they don't get, the house in order, then the rest of us are going to be out of order as well. So some of us ain't going to get in order, and some of us will perish. But for those of us who see the vision, who understand spiritually what's happening, who understand, what the Most High put in us to do, and are obedient, we gotta follow follow the Spirit. So take heed, family. Things are going to get rough, and a lot of people are out of order. I don't know what it's going to take for us to get in order, but if you hear messages like this, understand these brothers are saying it with love because they love our people and they genuinely want us to fare well. But it's not going to end well for a lot of our people because they don't believe boo boo stinks, and they don't think that nothing is going to happen. So position yourselves to be, not just you, your children. If you have children or grandchildren who are going to school and taking these degrees in psychology and social work, and man, y'all better learn how to build some stuff and get a journeyman welding certificate. I got me one, and I'm 52. If I need to dust it off, I never used it, but if I need to, I got people that I can go to and brush up on my skills and go get me a job. Because I ain't always guaranteed to be somewhere typing up some stuff and helping people do what I do. They might not want me because I'm Black. So I might got to go outside and haul some wood, bust up some, do something, sweep something, work on the job site. I might have to go help a brother who has a contracting business. I'm not above that. I would put my hair in 2 ponytails and get it. Put a hat on and get it. Pray I don't have no heart attack while I'm doing it. But if other people can do it all over the world, I can do it too. So position yourselves, family, for whatever is coming. Even if it's just being resourceful so that you can help brothers who do have skills, um, when things happen, because these are the people that are going to save our community. I'm just going to keep it a buck. People who don't know how to do nothing but talk, they're not going to be nothing but trouble. Brothers who know how to build, brothers who know how to grow, brothers who know how to put their hands to the plow and do stuff, those brothers are going to be the most in demand, the most sought after, and the most wanted people in our community. And not just in our community, everywhere, because guess what? Wherever we are, we make things flourish. So I don't care what all these other nations do, they can't do nothing without us being there. They're not going to be successful without us. So they can start doing stuff, but eventually they always have to come back and get us. Why? They always have to come back and get our men. Why? Because we're blessed. Whatever we touch is blessed. The Most High is with us. He ain't with the other nations. He's with us. So this is why, us women, we need to support our brothers and encourage them and help direct them as best we can. Um, Not to overstep our boundaries, not to lead, but in a way that is supportive, because we all need to support one another. And for the men folk, get in order. Get yourself in order. Get yourself some skills and trades. Learn how to do some stuff. Hook up with brothers who going somewhere. If a brother is not like mine, ain't trying to go nowhere, ain't trying to do nothing, leave him behind, because he's just gonna be baggage. And again, do what you can do, not only for yourselves but for your community, because when one is well, you know, we're all okay. And I can't even say that, because one here and there are okay, but the majority, of the community is sick. So we got to try to fix our sickness. And sickness right now is in our head and in our hearts. So y'all keep praying, keep prepping, keep seeking the Most High. Obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. Listen to our brothers who are watchmen, who are out here sounding the alarm. Because this brother telling you, hey, the buffer classes are here. They're taking our places. And I'm seeing it. But I ain't going to be able to fight this battle by myself. I'm trying to get my brothers in line so they can help us war, but they ain't doing it. So we got to pay attention to all the watchmen, all the messages that you getting. They're not necessarily going to come in the thus saith the Lord. I'm here with you. I'm going to do blah. All the messages ain't coming like that. I don't come like that. It's a lot of brothers who are out here preaching good stuff, practical stuff that you could tie back to the word. It's that word in us that makes us, it's in our hearts, so it moves us. It makes us act and walk in a certain way. That's how you know it's the spirit. Anybody can say they know the word. Anybody can regurgitate what the scripture says, but are they living it? And brothers like this live it. They're like literally telling you this is what you need to do. He's not telling you anything wrong. He's telling you exactly what the Most High said do. We're supposed to build. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to be self-employed. You're supposed to take care of yourself so you can take care of your family. And you can't do that working for Mr. Charlie at Home Depot. Can't do that on your cell phone all day. Can't do that playing video games created by your adversary. So we got to get it together. And you're not just for yourself. You also got to get your families together. Them children out here being retarded. Excuse my French. I know retarded ain't an appropriate word, but hey, I'm a Southern black woman. The kids out here acting slow. The mamas out here acting slow. The community is out here dull and don't have no light. Brothers, y'all got to set the tone. And y'all got a very short time to do it. So chop chop, let's get it. All right, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Make sure you are still subscribed, because the devil is unsubscribing people like crazy in this awakening. If you like to support the channel, my Venmo and my coffee links are at the very bottom of the description box. If you'd like to follow me in the event that I am booted from YT, which is highly likely, before the internet goes down, follow me on Rumble, Instagram, Odyssey, and on Facebook. The links to those platforms are in the description. Um, Also, keep in mind that those platforms are heavily censored, so you could still, um, run into issues, but at least you know where to get in touch with me. I'm thinking about creating an X account because it seems to be the freest platform on the web, and one that the powers that be don't like because they can't control it. But I don't know. I don't trust any of them. So in any event, we got to just do the best we can right now. We under attack in every way, shape, or form. We do not control the evil communications, but we can use the evil communications to do good. And so that's what we all are doing until we cannot. So keep praying, y'all. Keep prepping. Get your house in order. Brothers, get your houses in order. A storm is coming. The sword is coming. Do not be caught off guard because you did not prepare and you did not get your house in order. The watchmen are telling you, if you do not follow the instructions, there will be no blood on our hands, and you will pay for your own sins, the sins of disobedience and not heeding the Holy Spirit. All right, this is Marley K.